Who am I? Who are we? What is life? What is the universe? Are you willing to throw out your old identity and everything you once knew? Are you ready to become the ascended version of yourself? Are you ready to ascend mentally, physically, spiritually, and energetically? I am a divine being. I am Shan, the divine, a divine goddess, embracing my goddess energy, and you are watching the Divine Archives. Hey guys, it is Shan, the Divine Goddess. Welcome to the Divine Archives podcast with your host, Shan, the Divine Goddess, aka the Divine Goddess. I'm trying to stem away from the name the Divine Goddess and reintroducing myself as Shan, the Divine Goddess, just because there's so much divine goddesses out there, and no shade. No shade to the Divine Goddess. Embrace your, divine goddess energy. But yeah. Anywho, so it's Shan, the Divine Goddess. I make subliminal spiritual content for you guys, but we're just gonna hop right into it. Today's first episode is gonna talk about spirituality. This is my first podcast episode, my very long-awaited podcast. What better topic than to start off with spirituality? Because I feel like, first of all, there's a lot of misconceptions about spirituality, and I feel like everyone is on their own separate, special, spiritual journey. And, I'm just here to help you guys along with that. I'm on my own spiritual journey, so basically this podcast is about things that I learned on my spiritual journey to help you guys. Now, obviously, I want to say we're all human, okay? We are not perfect, nor are we going to be perfect. I feel like we all have to have that yin and yang balance. Without mistakes and failure, there is no perfection. And without perfection, there's no failures and places to learn. I also will be uploading a Patreon very soon, probably within a week that you guys see this video. I'll have my Patreon up and uploaded. I'll be posting more podcast, spiritual content on there. Also, if you guys are into oracle readings, I'll be posting my collectives on there. I'm gonna move more of my collective readings onto Patreon. Also, I will never ask you for a personal reading ever on any platform. However, if you guys do want personal readings, I will also be offering that on my Patreon, just to get away from scamming and all that shenanigans. But without further ado, let's get into this episode. Okay, so first of all, what is spirituality? I feel like spirituality is such a broad topic. Also, if you guys see me looking down, it's because I wrote my notes, okay? Thank you. But yeah, spirituality is just such a broad topic that I feel like there's no one specific definition. There are just so much levels to spirituality, especially on our own spiritual journey. And I feel like spirituality is very subjective because everyone has their own different concepts of spirituality. Some people may view spirituality as a part of religion. Some people may view spirituality as a part of just themselves and their higher consciousness and such like that. But to me personally, spirituality is just becoming one with your spirit and the universe. If you break up the word spirituality, you get spirit. And if you think about spirit, that's what's inside of you. To me, it's something very internal. It's really, but it really is seeing life beyond the material plane. When you're connected with your own spirituality, you see life in a different light. And I think a lot of the misconceptions about spirituality is that it's just some happy, sunny path, butterflies, lollipops, all that good. It's hard. It's hard because once you're connected with your spirit, you're really just connected with your whole self. You're breaking out of what you used to know and ascending who you need to become. So to me, spirituality is a journey. It's a lifestyle. It's not some process. It's not some trend on TikTok. It's not like what's new or what's fresh. Although in today's consumerism society, it could definitely be seen as that way, especially to people who aren't as knowledgeable to spirituality than others. But first of all, I'm going to tell you what spirituality is not. I was actually going to leave it till the end of this video, but let me break down what spirituality is not, because y'all need to watch for the fake spiritualists. I think, again, once you've really connected with yourself, you can kind of tell who's spiritual versus not. It's not how someone looks, the amount of crystals that they wear, the type of clothes that they wear, the type of hairstyles that they wear. It's really within. Like, it's an energy. Like, you just know. You just know. Like, even I remember when I was listening to a bunch of Kid Cudi songs, I mean, some of his lyrics gives kind of like just like higher vibration. I don't know how to put it, but it's just like when I was listening to a lot of his songs, I'm like, no, this guy has to be spiritual. I looked him up on Wikipedia. Yeah, he's into spirituality. Spirituality is not an aesthetic. It's not like it just isn't an aesthetic. Like, if you want to root back to spirituality has been a thing since the beginning of time. As long as you're a human, as long as you're a spirit, as long as you're a living force, you're like, you have a spirit, therefore you're spiritual. Even if we root it back to Buddhism, like in Buddhism, it talks a lot about connecting with yourself, connecting with your higher self, and that involves spirituality. Even if you want to talk about the beginning of time, like indigenous people, they looked at the moon, they looked at the stars. That is all spirituality, connecting with the universe, using your soul, using your spirit, and connecting with the universe, connecting with your higher self. It has nothing to do with crystals or oracle readings or angel numbers. Again, it has to do with yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. All those stuff can enhance your spiritual journey or aid you in your spiritual journey, but it really, it's such a deep concept. Like, to be spiritual, you have to just really be connected with your spirit, your third eye. Okay, it, like, again, as I keep saying, it has nothing to do with what's popping or what's a trend or blah blah blah. Okay, let me actually read from my notes because I'm all over the place. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about things / concepts to enhance your spiritual journey. Now, I want to preface again by saying doing all these things doesn't make you more or less spiritual. These are just enhancements, because again, the root of spirituality again comes from within your spirit. Spiritual, spirit, higher forces. Okay, so I just want to preface by saying that just because this person might be into crystals and you're not, doesn't make you more spiritual than that person. That person doesn't make you more spiritual than you. It really all, again, is from within, how connected you are with yourself and the universe and your higher forces, or whoever you be praying to, and all that type of shenanigans. So the first thing that kind of helped me or enhance my spiritual journey is crystals. Now, I want to say, first of all, two things. A lot of people may say crystals don't work, but to me, it depends on where you get your crystals from. If you get them from places like Amazon or fast fashion places or random places online with no reviews, chances are your crystals might be fake. Crystals are not made of plastic. They're actually made from the earth. Okay, so if you guys are new to crystals, or if you guys want to know where to get crystals, I would recommend going to like those spiritual shops, mystical shops, metaphysical shops, or actually going in person and testing to see if your crystals are real. Crystals will never look crystal clear perfect, okay? They don't look perfect because, again, they're made from the earth, which goes hand in hand with saying, like, we are not perfect. Like, we have so much beauty and light inside of ourselves, but that doesn't mean we're perfect. But we still have this light inside of ourselves, just like diamonds. If you look at a diamond, when you get a diamond in its raw form, it's not perfect. We have to shape diamonds. Okay, we have to shape diamonds, but there's such a desired mineral. I was right the first time. I didn't want to say a diamond was a mineral just in case I was wrong, but I was right. But yeah, they're one of the most sought out minerals, okay? But they're not perfect. Even when you look at gold, when people go and dig gold, you have to make it into a form. But that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't live life trying to be perfect. We should just live life trying to learn from our mistakes and trying to grow and trying to be the best version of ourselves. But again, that does not equate to perfectionism. And I feel like that's a big misconception in spirituality, is spiritual people have to be perfect, or spiritual people are perfect. If you have these habits or that habits, you're not spiritual. Listen, if you have a spirit, you're spiritual. Point blank, period. Okay, back to crystals. If you're into crystals and you believe that they work, then they will work. If you're not, then it won't work. Again, these tools are something to enhance or aid your spiritual journey. It is not what makes you spiritual entirely. So if you believe, for example, that a crystal, like, it's just gonna sit on your hand and it's gonna do something for you, it's not gonna happen. You have to have intent. Again, using your, I don't want to keep saying the word spirituality, but using your intentions, your intuitions, your own healing energy, your own energy into your crystals, then you'll probably see the results. But yeah, I want to say crystals are from the earth. They're healing energies from the earth. Energy is transferable. Now let me give you an example. If you're having a great day and now you walk into a room with a bunch of people who are having a bad day, what do you think is going to happen to your mood? Unless you're like a superwoman, let me know in the comments if you're a superwoman. But generally speaking, if you're having a good day and then you walk into a room with a bunch of people complaining and just having a bad day and just going at each other, then chances are your mood is going to change. And on the flip side, if you're having a relatively bad day, but then you go into an environment with a bunch of happy people uplifting you, trying to make you feel better, then for some reason you end up feeling better. So same thing with the crystals. Energy is transferable. It depends on the type of crystal that you're getting, for what purpose that you're using, but they work. I'll give you some examples. I use clear quartz a lot if I'm doing readings or if I'm having like a mentally clouded time. Also with rose quartz. Some people think that just having a rose quartz is gonna attract love, but again, you have to put the intent into the crystal. So I like to use rose quartz crystals a lot for self-love, and for me it has been working. I just lose my crystals a lot. If you lose your crystals, or if they break, or if they get lost, then it's done their purpose. But yeah, crystals are not necessarily for decoration, again, which goes into the whole thing of spirituality is not a trend. Okay, crystals are for manifestation. It's for protection. Okay, you can heal your chakras with crystals. Again, it's all energy. Think of crystals as an energy, not as a rock, or not as a gem, or not as some decoration. Think of it as an energy, either protecting you from certain energies or to bring in certain energies. Next, I want to talk about meditation. So meditation is, I feel like a lot of people have meditated, but I want you guys to think back to a time that you guys have meditated. Before you meditated, how did you feel? During the meditation, how did you feel? And after the meditation, how did you feel? Again, with meditation, it's all about an energy thing. Okay, you're connecting yourself with your mind, body, soul, and spirit, depending on what type of meditation you do. Now, there's so much different type of meditations out there, especially for people who can't sit still for that long, or for people who have racing thoughts. Some people who don't want to have thoughts at all. Some people who want to acknowledge their thoughts. There's literally a meditation for anything. There's a meditation for anything and everything. And a lot of people may say, oh, I don't have the patience for that, da, da, da. If you have the patience for dealing with crappy people at work, you have the patience for meditation, okay? Now, I don't want this to be like I'm telling you guys what to do, but I'm just letting you know the power of meditation. Meditation is just great for so many things. It's great for physical healing, mental clarity, and energy healing. And the reason why, again, with meditation, it involves breath work, okay? I also studied yoga and meditation, so my knowledge is my knowledge. I'm sharing my knowledge with you guys, okay? But it is good for so many different things, okay? Especially if you're pairing it with yoga, which I'm going to talk about next. But if you're pairing it with yoga and yoga poses, the breath work, the stretching, you're healing your body through your own higher energy. And many times through meditation, you can actually unlock your third eye, see beyond reality, see beyond what is there. If you're contemplating on a big life decision, meditation, because are we supposed to make life-changing decisions if our minds are clouded? We have to clear our minds, and sometimes clearing your mind doesn't necessarily mean getting rid of thoughts, but it means acknowledging your passing thoughts, but focus on what is important at the current time. Another thing I wanted to add, if you guys have been considering meditation or are looking into it, I would consider doing very short meditation videos first and then working your way up, especially if you can't focus for that long, or if you believe that you can't focus for that long. I would definitely start with shorter videos. But also, if you're not looking to just sit down or lay down, there's also meditations where you can walk and count your steps. A walking meditation, which roots to Buddhism. And if you're interested in different types of meditation, definitely go research meditations in Buddhism, because there's just a lot of different types of meditations that you can do. You can walk, count your steps while you meditate. That is a type of meditation. You can count your breath. Even yoga itself is a meditation. Okay, there's a wide range of meditations. Meditation doesn't necessarily mean sit down with your legs crossed and your fingers like this and say Om. Okay, that is a type of meditation, but there is so much types of meditations. I would definitely research a meditation style that is best suited for you, because again, not all specific types of meditations work for everyone. Some people may not find meditation beneficial at all by just laying down. Some people may not find meditation beneficial by acknowledging their thoughts. So again, I would spend a lot of time doing research on that. Me personally, I still like trying different types of meditation. My favorite types of meditations are just listening to binaural waves and sound frequencies, and then kind of just using breath work. That's kind of my favorite one. So the next thing I want to talk about is yoga. Yoga is so good, okay? Especially if you're embarking on a new spiritual journey, or you're looking for things to help aid you in your spiritual journey. Especially yoga is good for opening several, if not all, chakras. Okay, it is good for opening your third eye. But also you just feel good after, like your body feels like looser. I need to go back on my yoga grind, I can't even lie, but when I was doing it, okay, I felt good. When I actually taught my first class, okay, my business again is going to be up and running soon, so stay tuned for that. If you guys are looking for online yoga videos, or if you guys live within the area, I'll definitely be having an in-person class at some point within the next 1 to 2 months, okay? But we're busy. We had to take a little pause. Prana. Okay? Life. Air. Again, life. When you think about spirit and spirituality, it's like life, okay? Breathing in that air, you're giving yourself life. You're giving yourself life because we breathe in oxygen. Okay? We need oxygen to live. Okay? So all this breath work is giving you that life energy. I don't know how else to describe it, but that's pretty much what it is. And then we talk about asanas, which is basically the poses, the yoga poses. So you're basically using your body, your breath to heal you mentally and physically, okay? We'll talk about back pain. There's cat pose, there's cow pose. But also while you're doing those poses, you're like, for example, let's talk about cow pose, okay? So your chest is open and you're facing your head up to the sky, pretty much. But in a lot of poses where you open your chest, like cobra, cow pose, okay, you're opening your heart chakra. You're literally opening your heart chakra. When you go into cat pose and cow pose, you're working on your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus chakra, okay? So if you're looking for a way to open your chakras, you could literally do yoga poses at home, okay? It's not that hard. Anyone could do yoga. You don't have to go to a specific class. You don't have to pay all this money. I'm trying to put you guys on. You can literally watch a 10-minute yoga video on YouTube, okay? People want to say, oh, yoga is this new trend, da, da, da. Yoga is not a new trend. It's not something that's new. It's something that's been here, been on this planet. BC, okay? Roots down to Buddhism, ancient Africa, okay? And so much other ancient religions and countries and traditions, okay? It's all about, again, using your body to give yourself life, to heal yourself, okay? Now, if you guys can, I definitely would say try going to yoga classes in person if you can. If not, do them at home. But try going to a few yoga classes and see how you feel after, okay? It's not one of those things that you do one class and that's it. Now, you will feel a difference, don't get me wrong, but again, it's a lifestyle. Yoga shouldn't be a privilege. Yoga should be a lifestyle. Because we always want to give modern medicine a chance with a blind eye. We don't even want to think, okay, pass me the pills. But it's, yeah, we always want to say, when it comes to like natural healing, we want to give this a chance, or we don't have time for this, da da da. But yet you have time to ingest a bunch of medication that you don't know how to pronounce 75% of the ingredients, okay? I just want to let y'all know. Another thing that I kind of want to go over that helped me in my spiritual journey is herbs and plants. Okay, now, since we were born, we've been incorporating herbs and plants into our diets. I hope. If you haven't, I would definitely start today. But yeah, I want to talk, first of all, I want to talk about herbal teas, okay? Now, say last summer I made this great concoction, rose and lavender. I felt fantastic. Ladies, this is the tea for you, if you know what I mean. Okay, this is the tea for you. But plants, flowers, herbs all have different type of healing properties. Again, modern medicine doesn't teach us this because we're immune to taking fast medication that gives us instant relief, but with a long list of side effects. How many times you take cold and flu pills and you feel drowsy and tired, or like the next day you just feel all disoriented? Medication is not designed to make us feel better. It is designed to keep us addicted and attached. What happens when your body gets immune to one medication? You have to up your dosage. And it's like we're taking medication until the day we die. Medication was never designed for us to be better. What would happen if we all were to be on this holistic, healthy journey? The doctors would be out of business. Now, I'm not saying you can't go to a doctor if you have a broken arm. Sometimes we need medication, like after surgery. But it's like the first thing doctors want to do when we have a problem or a lifelong illness is to pump our bodies up with medication that one gives us this long list of side effects. That one, if you were to try a natural alternative, we wouldn't be having all these side effects. Plants heal us. Plants literally have life in them. We are giving ourselves life, but we are killing ourselves slowly with all this medication, all these ingredients that we can't even pronounce the name of. There are so much, countless reports of people having drug overdoses. What they don't tell you is a lot of times we are addicted to these pharmaceutical drugs because it's like our body feels like we need them to survive. When last have you heard of someone dying of a plant overdose? Okay? That's what I want you guys to think about. But yeah, rose, all these different plants have so much good healing benefits. If you want to talk about rose, first of all, roses, we associate that with love, the heart chakra, okay? It's good for the heart chakra, but it's also good for the soul. If you're wanting to enhance your self-love journey, I would definitely incorporate rose petals. Yeah, I would definitely incorporate rose petals, whether that be through a tea. For the smokers out there, dried roses also make a good little, Roses are definitely good for my women out there. Now let's talk about lavender. Many times in like soaps, you go to the store, we see soaps infused with lavender, infused with eucalyptus. Even like the baby shampoo or the baby body soaps for nighttime uses lavender. Why? Because lavender has calming, healing properties. Okay, if you have problems with going to sleep, or you just have problems with quieting your mind, lavender tea is so good. And when I mean lavender tea, I mean try to go to a store where you actually like see the dry lavender buds and try to make it yourself, just because one is more potent, but also two, you don't know what they putting in those like other teas. But the fact that you're just making it yourself has, to me, higher potency level just because of the intention. But let's also talk about ginger tea. That's really good for your health, okay? Your
and
immunity.
root chakra.
And then we'll also talk about mugwort, okay? Mugwort. The cat, if you have a pet cat, your cat is gonna love this, but it's good for dreaming, staying asleep. It's also good for just calming down the mind. And also there's blue lotus. Now, me personally, I haven't tried blue lotus. If you guys have tried blue lotus, let me know. But if you guys are looking for more vivid dreams, if you guys need to try astral projection or just like dream recollection, but also just like a whole spiritual, like a mental spiritual experience, I would definitely try blue lotus. Again, I haven't tried it, but I've watched a lot of videos on people who have tried it. I've researched a lot on it, and that is definitely something that if you're looking to kind of awaken your third eye, I'll definitely try blue lotus, but I would research how much to use first, because I'm just saying. But then I also want to talk about mushrooms and chaga and lion's mane. Mushrooms, Society doesn't tell us how beneficial mushrooms are, okay? Let's talk about lion's mane. This is so good if you have like anxiety, ADHD, okay, depression. It is like a herbal Adderall, if you will. Now, you're not going to be bouncing off the roof, but it is so good for thinking. Like, it is good for your cognitive function, okay? I personally take a mushroom complex. It has shiitake mushroom, it has lion's mane, it also has chaga mushrooms, another mushroom that starts with R, and then also has garlic for, you know, inflammatory purposes, all that stuff. But if you guys are unsure which mushroom that you want to take, I would just take a mushroom complex. I think the brand I got was from Jameson, but mushroom complex is really good. I aim to take it in the evening or before I go to bed, a couple hours before I go to bed. But you know, it's also good to take in the morning too, to start off your day right, especially if you have problems with overthinking or you're under a lot of stress. That just helps like resets your mind. It clears your mind. And also I want to talk about cannabis, okay? Now, cannabis is not for everyone. It's not. But if you're a cannabis user, there's also lion's mane cannabis, and that infused with the cannabis. I like to say cannabis is an enhancer to whatever herb that you're using. If you are going to be smoking, you can mix cannabis with rose petals, you can mix cannabis with lavender petals, you can mix cannabis with mugwort, okay? I have not tried cannabis and blue lotus, but I assume it will work wonders. Cannabis is something that kind of brings you to your third eye, but again, it's like with overuse of cannabis, depending on your brain chemistry, it may not be for you to be using it all the time, because again, it awakens our third eye. So it's like we be thinking a lot of things that we wouldn't be thinking if we weren't on cannabis. But again, it awakens our mind, so our mind is more receptive to a lot of different things, whether that's negative overthinking, positive overthinking. So I would recommend before using cannabis to make sure that you're not necessarily in such a bad place mentally, because it will invoke those thoughts. It may invoke those feelings. I'm just saying, you know, use with discretion. But if you are, you know, using like your herbal pre-rolls and you want to infuse cannabis, I definitely say cannabis definitely enhances the effects of the other herbs. And there's also rosemary and, you know, different herbs for your body, energy, and mind, like thyme and rosemary are definitely really good for fertility and thinking, and again, just like awakening with your higher self, okay? It's also good for your sacral chakra and your root chakra, okay? They have anti-inflammatory purposes. So if you're taking a bath, you know, if you're taking, you know, a herbal bath, I definitely recommend infusing rosemary and thyme in it too. And I want to say certain herbs pair with crystals work wonders, because again, it's an energy transfer. Like, for example, if you really wanted to make, you know, a little kit for self-love, a little energy kit for self-love, rose quartz, clear quartz, rose petals, fantastic. And along with a subliminal, you know, I'm just letting you know, I do have a inner beauty subliminal on my YouTube channel. If you haven't watched that already, I definitely say go watch that, okay? This is the energy of working on self-love. We are all in the energy of working on self-love, so we can clear all our blockages, certain blockages that are reaching us from our destined goals, okay? Sometimes self-love doesn't look a little lovey, it looks like get your together, because I love myself so much that I will not stop at nothing to achieve these goals, okay? Write in the comments below, I will not stop at nothing to achieve my goals, point blank, period. And that is real love, unconditional love. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about, solar and lunar energy, okay? Again, paired with crystals works wonders, okay? But even, let's forget about spirituality, all this stuff, okay? We need vitamin D, okay? That's why if you live in a place with winter, like especially if you live in North America, vitamin D is essential in the winter because why? You start to get sick. Your immune system starts tweaking out. Okay? Your immune system may start tweaking out. That's why we need vitamin D. Why do you think people in super cold countries flock to the Caribbean, flock to places that are hot where the sun is? Because sun gives us healing energy. Whether we think about it or not, whether we know it or not, sun gives us healing energy. Natural vitamin D. You can't compare natural vitamin D, okay? The warmth, the energy, the life that sun gives us. That's why there's this concept called sun gazing. Now, if you're an early riser, this may be for you. If you're a late riser, you can't wake up in the morning, maybe try for one day of the month. Try it at least. But sun gazing, when the sun rises, you look into the sun and you're getting that like powerful energy. Sun gazing is basically a concept where you stare directly into the sun. Now, you really only should be staring into the sun for a couple seconds if this is your first time doing it. But essentially, you should be looking directly into the sun at the crack of dawn, where the rays are the most potent. And pretty much, if you have depression, anxiety, stress, or even wounds that need to be healing, this is for you. We need the sun to live. Without the sun, we would all die as humans. We would all crumble and die, which is pretty much going to my point by saying that even meditating, becoming one with the sun, embracing those energies, we are increasing our serotonin levels. We are fixing our sleep cycles, but overall we are boosting our mood. With the quietness in the morning and meditating with the sun, you will expect amazing benefits. Okay, but it's light energy, okay? You get calmness and the healing. And you know, even in like hot days, like when you're sweating out the bad toxins, okay, the energy, the bad energy out, you sweat. So even in the scientific definition, sun is healing. It's the energy that we get from the sun that heals us. Again, when we're sick, why do we pop so much vitamin D? Because that natural energy from the sun. I'm telling you. Why do doctors say when you're depressed, take a walk out in the sun, take a walk out in the day, wake up early with the sun? Because sun has healing energy. And then I also will talk about lunar energy. The moon gets its light from the sun. Okay, so we're still getting that energy, but now it's like the sun's rays connecting with the moon, all that ish. Now we're getting lunar energy. So lunar energy, if you are into moon cycles, you know that working with the moon is good for setting intentions, manifestations, goal settings. Quick pause. I want to talk about manifestation real quick. I was going to make a separate video, which I still am, but I just want to talk about manifestation. One big misconception in the spiritual community is that manifestation is you think about something and then it's going to birth. No. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. That's not what manifestation is. That's just thinking. And that's why a lot of times manifestation doesn't work for people, because manifestation is really, you're thinking about something, you're praying for it, or you're repeating what it is that you want to manifest in your head, and then you take action. And then, you know, with help from your higher force, if they see that you're putting in the work, well then of course you're gonna get help. But if you're just creating thoughts in your head and hoping for stuff to happen, it's not gonna happen. That's not how the universe works. I'm so sorry to tell you. I'm so sorry. That's not how it works. But again, sometimes when we manifest stuff and we don't get them, that's the universe manifesting. That's still technically the universe manifesting our desires for us, but just not in the time zone that we want it. Why? Because a lot of times when we manifest things, we're not meant to receive what we manifest at that specific time. For example, you want $1 million, okay? All you want to do is be a millionaire. And you manifest it, but it's not happening. But then it's like, when you're manifesting it, you have a bunch of snakes on your side. You have a bunch of people that are using you for money. You have horrible spending habits. You can't save money. Maybe that is the universe protecting you. Actually, no, that is the universe protecting you by not giving you $1 million, because then when you're still on that same timeline with those habits and that environment, the manifestation is gonna come to a crumble. So sometimes, yes, the manifestations work, but on the correct divine timeline. That's what I want you guys to understand. Manifestations work, but it may not work on your timeline. It works on the divine timeline. Okay, let me give you guys another example. Let's say you wanted to manifest this high position role in your job, but in your current position, you know, you're struggling with addiction, you're struggling with showing up on time, you know, your life is in shambles, and you manifest it and you're like, oh my God, why did I get the job? Or why did I get this high position? Because it is not on the divine timeline. If the universe was like, okay, we'll give this person this position, they already know it's not going to work, because if you're still having those habits and you're still doing this and you're still doing that, and you have a bunch of toxic habits and stuff that are going to prevent you from maintaining that manifestation, then it's not going to happen. The manifestation will only come when you are correctly aligned with that manifestation. Okay, that's all I want to... You guys have me on a tangent. Kind of segueing into the next point that I want to talk about is therapy and counseling. Now, I know this sounds very this doesn't sound as spiritual, but it really is. Okay? Addressing your traumas is healing itself. You're doing shadow work. You're looking within. You're connecting with your spirit. Okay, we live in a society where it's like, oh, you gotta toughen up, oh, you can't talk about this and that. It's weak. No, it's strong. Because being able to recognize certain bad personality traits or bad habits or this and that, to elevate yourself into a better person, that is strength. While you're still carrying on with your life, to me that is strength, because you are learning things from a new perspective. You are transforming. Your vibration is rising, and when your vibe is high, I'm gonna tell you, these manifestations start coming in like that. Okay, you are tapping into your subconscious to uplift your soul, reaching a new level of consciousness. Okay, awakening your third eye, awakening your crown chakra, but also through therapy, depending on what you're in therapy for, you awaken so many different chakras, because you are digging in deep within yourself to find answers, to find solutions, to find your problem areas, and recognizing those problem areas, working on those problem areas, and just solving them. Okay, if you haven't tried therapy or counseling as yet and you have been thinking about doing it, I definitely would look into that. Now, it doesn't have to be necessarily talking to a therapist. It could literally just be like journaling, at least for now. Journaling, maybe like every other night before you get into bed, journal your thoughts, journal your feelings. It's so important that we learn to express our feelings in a healthy way, and we learn to feel our feelings, because sometimes when we can't feel, we end up blocking our own chakras. Sometimes we make incoherent decisions when our mind and our emotions aren't connected. When our body and our emotions and our mind are all over the place and it's all on different synchronicities, a lot of times we may make incoherent decisions or decisions that we're confused with. For example, let's say your heart chakra is blocked, right? And forget about relationship, for example, but it's so important to be able to feel love for yourself, because the type of love for yourself also can dictate the relationships you have with other people. If you tell yourself you're trash every day, you're not worth it, you're not this, you may start attracting people that mirror your energy, who also tell you you're not worth it and blah, blah, blah. If you get what I mean. And sometimes we may look back and be like, oh, like, you know, why am I allowing this? How does this even happen? Sometimes you have to look within. And the same type of questions that you'd be asking other people, why'd you treat me like this? Ask yourself, why are you treating yourself like this? What's blocked? What needs to be healed? I'm just saying. I also want to talk about oracle cards / divination. Now, if you're not into oracle cards or tarot, I would skip this video until the end when I talk about angel numbers, but I'm really going to be talking about oracle cards. Now, again, to me, this isn't something that classifies you as a witch or a warlock or a pixie or a fairy or a god or a high priestess or a pope. Again, it's really connecting with your higher source, connecting with your higher self. It's just energy connection. Now, a lot of times when I do oracle cards, I connect with, you know, my higher forces, and I also connect with myself. But I also call it connecting with the universe, or just giving clarification on your intuition. Now, again, I'm going to preface by saying that oracle cards aren't something that should be used as only taking answers from. It should be something to strengthen your intuition, or to give you answers, but you use your intuition to kind of solve things. You know, they can give guidance and clarity on certain things and certain topics. But to me, the reason why I got into this is because through tough times, I bought myself an oracle deck, and the oracle deck was more so like healing and like certain guidance type stuff. Wasn't too deep. I was just kind of figuring out what I should do during my healing process. And once I started doing that, I honestly never looked back. To be honest, I only strengthened my skills. That helped with my intuition and my abilities a lot. And now I'm so comfortable to the point where it's like my readings be on point when I be practicing with certain people, or even like the collectives that I'd be doing. Now, my YouTube channel is still a baby channel, don't get me wrong, but my readings are timeless. So whether you find them on my upcoming Patreon or in the past, they are timeless. And if they resonate, they resonate. If they don't, they don't. Now, with oracle readings or with oracle cards, if you practice them on yourself, if something doesn't make sense, do not try to make sense of it. Because again, it may not even be current energy. It might be past energy or upcoming energy. But if things don't make sense currently in your reading, I would not try to make sense of it, because that's only going to spiral you into overthinking. I would take what resonates and use your intuition to guide you. Okay? Again, like, don't try to make sense with what doesn't make sense. That's all I have to say about that. Now, one of the many things that helped me with my spiritual journey, I want to say, is angel numbers. Angel numbers, like, I've always been seeing angel numbers, but I haven't clocked in that I had anything to, like, it was just something that I was used to, but I never really, like, thought really that deep into it until, again, when I really started my, I wouldn't say spiritual journey, but when I really started elevating my spiritual gifts. And angel numbers are such a powerful tool. To me, angel numbers, I use angel numbers as guidance or clarification or warnings or praises. It really depends on, again, what angel number, like, has significance to you. Not many numbers have general meanings, but again, they're very subjective, because not, like, just because someone sees 222 and it could mean, like, reassurance, or just because someone sees 555 and genuinely speaking it means change, someone's 555 change could be different from your 55 change. Now, 555 could mean to someone good change is coming, but 555 for someone else, it might mean you need to change certain ways to get to the next step, which is why I say it's very subjective, and a lot of times you have to use your own intuition, and why I say this is just an aid and a tool. This is not something that you should use just blindly. You should use your intuition and use that as an aid or a confirmation, because again, like, it might be very diluting to think, oh, like, change 555 means good changes are coming, when really it might mean you need to change your habits today. Okay, you need to change something in order to get to the next step. I'm just saying. But one thing I want to say is, don't go looking for angel numbers. Angel numbers will find you. Sometimes you may look for clarification, you might see one, but, like, it's like, once you clock angel numbers and actually start using them to your advantage, you start seeing more and more and more and more and more. Man, sometimes I see like 50 angel number sequences a day. Okay, and it can get exhausting sometimes if you're always trying to think what this means, what that means. Like I said, I would just let them come to you, and eventually they'll start making sense subjectively. Okay, again, I want you guys to watch out for these fake pages that don't make sense, because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. And with angel numbers, it's not like, some people will literally go seek out stuff or type 444 in their calculator and post it. Oh my god, I see a sign. No, baby, no. But yeah, like, many times angel numbers can help you figure out what direction to move in, and also it can help you clarify information downloads. Now, how I kind of get my downloads is through songs. I listen to songs and, like, I'll like be blank out for half the song, and then I pay attention. I'm like, whoa, this line resonates so hard. Or I just be like thinking, and sometimes I just think just these like mind-moving thoughts that I'm like, how, like, where did this come from? And then I see an angel number. If you guys see 717 a lot, y'all know I be seeing 717 like cray, especially when I get my information downloads, especially for when I use them in my oracle readings or for myself. But I definitely would pay attention to the information downloads, because it's like inner therapy in itself. Like, many times we could self-heal, but we just need a little bit of help. We just need a little bit of spark to that flame, you know. But yeah, I definitely say angel numbers are like one of the most common things, especially that can help you on your spiritual journey if you use them to your advantage. Now, numbers are just numbers, again, without action or energy. But yeah, like I said, don't go looking for numbers, let them find you. But yeah, just to wrap it up again, I just kind of want to talk about what spirituality is not. Again, spirituality is not an aesthetic. It's not some new trend, okay? You guys need to do your research. You guys need to do your research because spirituality is very subjective, based off of one's own spiritual experience and beliefs, okay? My definition of spirituality or my concept of spirituality might not be the same as someone else's concept of spirituality. Like I said, we all come from different belief systems, religions, races, cultures. So we all have our own subjective view of spirituality. However, really, essentially, it's just becoming one with our spirit, our higher selves, and the universe, pretty much. And spirituality could be a really good thing if you use it to your advantage and not just like some contest or like a trend or whatnot. But yeah, so we are at the end of this episode. Hopefully it's not that long, but more podcasts are about to be coming soon on the Divine Archives, featuring your host, Shan, the Divine Goddess. Again, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you guys have stayed tuned for this long, thank you so much. I hope you guys learned a bit about spirituality. Like I said, I would urge you to do your own research. Don't take research solely off of TikTok or social media or this or that, I would say. But yeah, I would urge you guys to, start your own experience. Read more articles. There's a lot of books to do with spirituality. There's a book called Intuition, which I'm going to do a podcast about intuition, but there's a really good book called Intuition. I got it from Indigo. I honestly forget who the author is. I do not have the book on me right now. It's somewhere. I'm not going to go look for it, but it's a book called Intuition. It's a white book and it has blue lettering, and that is also a really good guideline for you guys to connect with your inner self. But yeah, without further ado, first of all, pause. Did you guys like, comment, and subscribe? Because you're here this far. Like, comment, and subscribe. It is $0, okay? If you guys want to see more podcasts, like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear you guys' opinions. Mind you, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but let's be respectful in the comments, okay? Because I'm not going to go back and forth. Your girl doesn't have time for that. And I hope y'all don't have time for that either, because if you're that bored, go find a hobby. Go find a hobby today. But yeah, anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.